So for Luke's Diner, I picked out the Corner Cafe. It's a corner-shaped building by Department 56. And I chose this building for a few reasons. First of all, it had the overall right shape of Luke's Diner. Luke's Diner does not have this pointy top, but that was something I was willing to overlook. I can get this to balance. What I liked about it was that it had the windows on both sides that have the little curtain going halfway up, and I even liked that it said coffee and a little open sign, and I figured that this area here I could cover that up and do the Williams hardware. So this morning I went ahead and put one of the little Christmas light bulbs inside here to test out a theory that I wanted to try out. So you can see that the light glows behind this yellow and green and red Christmas little wreath here, and I went ahead and printed this picture from one of I thought one of the funniest scenes, where the Gilmore girls are looking through the window and playing 1, 2, 3, he's yours. And so when I printed that photo out, I cut it in half and thought, how would it look if I cover up this window so it looks like they're looking through playing that game. And as you can see, there was kind of some shadowing behind their faces. I mean, it works, it would work, but it also cut off the bottom half of that curtain that Luke's Diner is known for. So then I printed the same version, and this time decided to cut it in half and try to line up his shoulder as he's peering over the window. And I almost went with this scale, but then I thought, wait a minute, if people are big enough to walk inside this door, I mean, Rory's head is half the size as a human should be. So I thought, this is just still too big. It doesn't look right. No human with a head that big, would be sitting there and filling up that much of the window. So I went ahead and printed an even tinier version of this picture and decided maybe I could put all three of them looking out one side of the window. And I really like that, because then I could still leave the curtain up. If I wanted, I could leave the coffee sign up, but in the original Luke's Diner, it's actually 3 windows, not 2, and one of them says the word eat on it. So I kind of wanted to paint that yellow eat, but the problem is that this already is painted yellow in the background. And I don't know if you can see, but there's actually glass covering that paint. So I'd have to paint on top of the glass another background color, which I might still end up doing. But I thought maybe if I use a screwdriver, I can pop out the glass, because I can kind of feel with my nail the edge of the glass there. So let me move this picture out of the way, because if I could get that paint off, then this would really pop without the shadows of the wreath behind their faces. So I did. I actually squeezed a finger through this window and kind of pushed against that window, while at the same time using 2 hands, I was able to get a screwdriver in there and lift out that glass. So now I'm gonna probably get some nail polish remover and see if I can clean off the paint on the back of this glass. This way it'll be totally transparent, and then maybe I could even put the glass in front of the picture of Luke and Rory and Lorelai. All right, so let me get some nail polish remover. Okay, so I decided to print an even smaller version, because the original version, when I popped out this glass and cleaned the paint off, it barely could get Lorelai's face and part of Rory's face in the scene. So with the tinier picture, if I can get this to focus, you can see kind of that if I line this glass up, I can get their whole faces inside that window without cutting off their faces. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim that to fit. Okay, now let's see how this will fit. We'll first place the picture, and now we can fit our glass window on top. And there we have it. Let me see if I can get it to focus. There we go. My favorite scene. Now, before I glue this glass back into place, I want to see if I can try to pop this window off so I can clean off that coffee and yellow symbol behind. This way I can paint the word eat on it. All right, so I was able to pop this window out by sticking my finger up this hole and pushing against the window here. I also tried to loosen it with a screwdriver a little bit, but if you can see around the edges here, it's kind of hard to see maybe with the light off. There we go. You can see that there's some leftover glue that had glued the glass in place. So before we put the new piece down, you're gonna wanna kind of use a screwdriver to pop that old glue off. And this one seems like really old and it kind of just flakes off easily. But just be careful because you don't want to hurt or break the structure of the window as you're popping up that glue. All right, I'm going to use 2 hands so I can apply pressure better. Also, when taking off the back paint, because I do want this little curtain, this half-drawn curtain to stay up, it's important that you don't put too much nail polish remover on your cotton ball and only do the top half of the painting. And you have to rub it for quite a while before it starts to come up. There's like a protective layer of paint before you can even get to the yellow picture. So I'm just gonna keep rubbing at that. You can see it's starting to break through without getting down into the bottom layer. It might even help to use a paintbrush as you get closer to that bottom layer. And there we have it, the top half is cleaned off. So now I have to decide, I think I might put just like a solid gray background inside Luke's Diner behind it so that the yellow words eat will really pop up. All right, so because I'm only gonna have one chance to make this done right, I figured let me get a view of what it would be like to look at the diner from the outside. And I've always loved this kind of cabinet of all the different mugs, so I decided to print this shot. And I'm gonna cut probably right around there, so I can get some of the appliances on the counter, the coffee makers, and all the cups. I think that'll be really cute. And then above the open sign, I'll have the word, I think it's food on one side and eat on the other. And you'll notice that I actually switched the open side from where Lorelei is to the opposite side. I accidentally kind of scraped up the glass using a Phillips screwdriver to scrape off the paint at first instead of just using the nail polish remover. So I don't recommend using a Phillips screwdriver. So this is going to be a little bit blurry, so I didn't want it over their faces. So that's why I decided to switch it out. So let's see how that looks. Eek, I love it. I think it's perfect. So the glass is on the outside, and I will go ahead and write the word, I think eat. I'll have to look it up. It might be food. I want to get it right because I'm not going to do it again. All right, and then I might try to lift out the glass and squish Lorelei over just a little bit so that there's no light coming off the side of her there. So I'm gonna get those glued down, and then I will work on the opposite side because I went ahead and printed this side of the diner to go inside the other windows. So I'll show you how that looks next. All right, I'm kind of nervous because I realized I have to glue the glass on top of this picture here. So I'm gonna use Mod Podge for that. I think it acts like a glue. I'm just nervous about putting Elmer's glue on top of that photo. I think it could end up blurring it. So we're gonna Mod Podge it and hope that that maybe even protects the picture, I don't know, from being ruined by glue. I might even just do a quick little coat over the whole entire picture. I'm kind of hoping that that wasn't a mistake. All right, so then, in case Mod Podge isn't a glue, I'm just gonna put a couple little drops of Elmer's glue in the corners. So that this picture frame, or not picture frame, so that the glass never accidentally pops off. Because once this is done, I want it to last for forever. All right, let's see. All right. I think that's, maybe I shouldn't have put the glue there. Well, hopefully it dries clear. If not, it's better than what it was before. And I noticed that by switching the curtains on both sides, you now get a little bit of that green holly on the inside, so it looks more like a wreath maybe on the inside. If you're wondering why this side of the curtain's darker than this side, it's because this side had no picture. And this side, if I can get this up, has the bar stools. So I think I might leave the bar stools in there. It helps the picture not fall behind, and it has something more for this to glue to. But I don't know, does it bother me to have a shadow there? I guess it kind of does. I might remove the bottom half of that picture now. All right, I decided to go ahead and cut off the bottom half of that picture. Oops, didn't mean to dip that much Mod Podge in there. Just kind of giving it a light, oops, not even filming it. Give it a light brush. We add a bit more glue. Just kind of smooth that out there. All right, here goes our glass. Let's see. Oops. All right. So because I cut the paper behind it, there's a little area where all the paint was washed off, and now that kind of shines through. But might be as good as it's gonna get. There we have it. 1, 2, 3, yours. All right, so here's what the other side of the diner looks like. And I'm gonna try to start loose. All right, I'm gonna see if I can pop it up. Nope. All right, I'm gonna try on this side. Nope, that is not, and look, I just chipped up. All right, we got one little window up. It popped up. I had to push my finger under it while trying to lift it at the same time. And you can see a whole lot of glue around the edges. So I'm gonna try to peel and get that up. Make sure it's all smooth. It's hard, that glue. In some areas it comes off easy, in other areas it's a lot harder. Alright, so now that I got one window up, I'm going to see if I can loosen this other side a little more. I can hear like the glass chipping. I'm scared to break it. There you go, it's coming up a little. I might need to use two hands again. Let me see if I can. I can't really get a leverage on it. My fingers are too short. Alright, let me use two hands. Alright, so that one was definitely a lot easier to get up once I got the edges loosened. Alright, whew. So we will remove. Ooh, I might leave the pie on the right side, even though I guarantee you his pie wasn't 25 cents, but it might be cute to leave that. No, I'm not, because I want the picture of the diner. But I will leave a little bit of that green holly again. So I'll clean those off once I get the rest of the glue off of this side and show you how this side will look. All right, so we got our little windows here. I'm gonna flip these over face down. Get my cotton balls with some nail polish remover. All right, so I think I want one window to be showing Taylor Dosey's Sweet Shop through the window here, and the other side will be facing this wall and window. And there we have it.